Hi everybody, Manucha here. This is the Moms and Crafters channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make a really fun little seashell bracelet. Just a fun little summer camp craft or just summer camp at home or just for fun. You can make this really so many different ways, but I'm going to show you this particular stitch. We are going to use a square, just a square knots, and we're just going to intersperse it with beads, but you can just do the knots. You can do with like more like classy kind of crystal beads if you want that kind of look. We went with a woodsy kind of look to go with the beach, and we are using seashells. Now I do have a separate video for how to make your holes in your shells. I have it pre-drilled here from when I recorded that video, and we are going to use this mount. Now this isn't strictly necessary, but it is going to help us. The string that we're going to be using is a satin cord. I like this one for this project because it melts very well. Just a note, I did melt this. And to do this technique, there are ways to do it without melting it. You can knot it all the way till the end and then just knot all the strings together. Melting should only be done by a grown-up in a controlled environment. So just make sure, to do that responsibly. You can do it over the sink. Be careful with wooden beads and all that when you're doing that. So we're going to cut 2 lengths of string. It doesn't have to be crazy long. I think I did about 12 inches doubled over. I'm not even measuring this. This is the string that's going to attach to our shells. And just a heads up, you tend to get cleaner cuts when you use decent fabric scissors. These are actually detail scissors. So you get cleaner cuts that way, but you might want to already off the bat just burn your ends, because if you're going to be beating this, you're going to need to do that just so you don't get too much fraying. And we're just melting it and then, sort of putting it out if you need to along the side of the lighter. It cools off after about a second or so. So make sure you wait that second before, touching it. And that will make it sort of a hard edge that will be able to stick through a bead more easily. So we're going to do that to all 4 ends. And again, if it catches fire, you can just, put it up against the lighter. You could see that I did that 100 times. We have this little wooden beaded mount. Even just having it on 2 sides of a clipboard without this recess can help you. We're going to first actually attach it to our seashell. We're going to do this by threading the 2 ends of the string from the front of the seashell to the back. You can try it both ways, but whatever you do, make sure you do it the same on each side. And we're going to just pull these strings through, and that's how we attach it to the seashell. Now, from here, you can literally just leave it as is. You can just string on beads. You can do anything. Really, if the only thing you gain from this tutorial is this part, this is how you're connecting it neatly to the base, you're good to go. You can be creative at this point. You can even sort of prep it for younger kids, like preschoolers who won't really be able to do all the other parts. You can prep it for them like this and give it to them to do as a craft to make their own necklaces and bracelets. This is actually a design that works great as a choker. So you could just make this a little bit longer and turn it into a choker. And now, in order to work with it, we're going to attach it to the bead frame. And again, it's not really going to sit so straight. So as I'm working, I'm sort of going to be cognizant of where the front of this shell is and where the back is, but it's not going to sit that way naturally here. It's going to twist and stuff. These are straight like this. And now we're ready to work on. So for this bracelet, I actually decided that I want to use these wooden beads because it works as a pair with this bracelet without actually fully matching it. So we're going to be using those blue wooden beads as we go along. So we're going to start by cutting about 18 inches doubled over. Now you're going to need 2 of these, 1 for each side, but I'm starting with 1. And that's a very generous amount. You want to make sure you're fully centered at this point. I made the mistake on one of them of not doing that. We're placing it underneath all at the center point, but right up against the shell. Again, you can leave a bit of a gap. Whatever you do, make sure you do the same on both sides. Now we're going to start by taking the left string and putting it over the center strings. You see we've kind of like lost our center spot, so you might want to just like make a pencil mark so you don't do that, or just cut a little extra string in case you lose your center. Then we're going over with the right string. We're going over the left side and going underneath the center and then back through that loop that we had on the left. So this is going to be the hardest one to string, and here we're just sort of just pulling it off from the sides. And now that it's sort of around there, we're good. And then making sure it like keeps the string flat, we're going like that. So we did left over right first. So now we're going to do right over left first. Again, you don't have to hold this straight. We're going to go right over left, right over the center, left, goes through. And in case you forget what side you're up to, you'll now see that there's sort of like a stitch forming over here. I don't know if you could see it. You always start with that side. So now we're going to do left over right, and we're going to repeat this 3 times, 3 double knots. So 3 of each direction. All right, so we've done it 3 times. And again, if you lose track, you can count. Now we're going to add a bead. Now, if you want, you could actually add your beads before, if you prefer to just not have to remove this whole thing and slide it on. And we're actually going to add both beads at this stage. That way we have them both ready. Now, because I pre-melted the holes, they're really easy to get on. These are also very large hole beads. But you can, if your beads are a little smaller like these, you can use something to help you poke it through like this. And this, I also use this to sort of clean out the hole because wood does sometimes get splintery inside the hole. So now we have 2 beads on, prepared, and we're going to reclamp it on. And we're going to move one of them up. So this one's prepared for when we're up to it, but we only moved one into position. And again, you can switch up how many beads you do. You can switch up the size, you can switch up the colors, you can switch up whether you even add beads, you can switch up whether you even add knots. So this is just how I did it. So now we're going to start with the side that we're up to, which is left over right. And we're going to do 3 more. Now this first one does count as a stitch. So you could see that when you start trying to count your stitches, this one is going to count. So that was left over right, and now we're up to right over left. And we're going to again do it 3 times. Now, if you don't switch directions, it'll twist. So if you want to specifically make a twisty knot, you just do it all in the same direction. But you can see that we did 3 more times. We're sliding up that bead, and we're going to again do the same direction. At this point, you'll notice that my string is much longer than I needed it to be. You definitely can save scraps for things that need smaller bead strings. I was not going to have it go too short because, you know, and my previous one, like I said, I made the mistake. So you could say I started with the wrong one. I caught myself. So now we're basically done. Now, again, you could continue. The reason why I'm not continuing is simply because I want to have a little bit of space for a slider. This one, I don't know if I just like knotted tighter. You can see that it does seem to be tighter, although it's practically the same length, so we'll leave it. Now, again, this is a grown-ups only. If you don't want to use the lighter, you can simply continue it like this, or continue it maybe a little bit longer, but continue like this and just knot the 2 sides together like this. You don't have to end it here. So I will end it here. I will use the lighter to end it here, and I will show you how you do that. You have to cut it. You have to make sure your knot's really tight before you even start. And I will cut it using these scissors for a cleaner cut, leaving just enough to burn. By the way, this bracelet is burnt. I'm experimenting with how long it'll last. I've already worn it in like 4 showers for like a week straight, and so far it's holding strong. So just so you know how strong this is. Again, we have wood beads, so we're being very, very hyper aware of that, and it did catch fire, and we're going to smash it. Again, sometimes it does char, so when you're using a white string, you should just be extra aware that it might show a little bit of charring. So it got a little bit dirty on this side, but here we go. So this side is complete. I'm going to complete the other side, sped up, so you can watch me do the process. And then we are going to finish it off. So you see we just switched it around. On this one, I'm putting the beads on before we even start. So this one's a little bit harder to put on. I really should have maybe cleaned the hole out first, but it gives me an opportunity to show you how I just sort of like push it through with this. That one's through, so let's try the other one. And I caught it. And because the edge is burnt, it's melted, sorry, it's not going to fray. So we're just going to position it over there at the base and stick this down. And again, try to configure it as much as we can in the right direction. And we're going to knot this the exact same way. Here you can see we finished it, and it really became muscle memory a little bit. And you can see how uneven these sides are, and that's because I forgot to center it. So that's why I cut so much extra to begin with. And now we're going to burn this. Just a reminder to be hyper aware of the wood beads and to be careful because those are flammable. And that is all. So now we just have to close it. So to close it, we're going to cross over the two sides like this, leaving a little bit of space. And again, this process actually does need burning. So I'll show it to you, but just be aware of that if you don't want to burn, don't do it. So you're cutting another piece of string. Could be one of your scraps will be big enough, I don't know. And you're doing the same exact knot, but around all of these. So you're doing it a few times, however thick you like the closure to be. So we're going to do left over right, and then around behind the strings. It's hard to do this showing, especially since I cut my string pretty short. So that was left over right, and try to center it because again, I didn't cut it so big. Don't worry too much about the positioning of these. It just has to be around all of them. You could even it out after. Just make sure to keep track of which strings are your knotting strings and which ones aren't. So now we're going to do right over left, and we're going to do this, let's say 3 sets of this. So I did 3 rounds. It's symmetrical to these, and it is a good round number. And now we're going to trim these, and just like we did at the end of our previous bracelet, we're going to cut a little off and melt. Just make sure you're not melting it to there. Make sure you're melting it to itself. And keep all fingers out of the way. You see we burnt a little there. By the way, if you hold it like next to it, just starts melting. So when you're just doing, singeing the edges, when you want to actually shrink it down, I find that you do usually need to like practically catch it on fire. But if you're a little bit more patient, you can do it without. You see here I didn't burn, here I did. So just a little tip when you're doing this. I don't care as much. It's for my 5-year-old daughter. She's not going to care. So here's where you want to measure what the largest position is that you need it. It has to be able to slide over your hand like this. So I'm going to, put my beads a little bit longer than this, and I'm actually going to do 1 bead. Over here, I did 1 bead on each string for a cute little fringy look, but I'm just going to do 1 on the whole thing. We have the same color, but a round bead. These are a little bit easier to bead than the previous ones that I used. They were smaller. We're going to string it through. Tie a knot. Now, here's where burning gets a little bit trickier because you are actually doing it with a wood bead right next to it. So I will just tell you to note that you should, here we're just sort of trying to tie both of these. This is my ADHD. Both of these together, making sure it's big enough that it won't slide off, even if it like shrinks a little bit as it tightens. Now you're going to slide that down before you try melting this because it is a wooden bead. And again, depending on which string you use, some of them have fibers. This scissors really needs to go, I guess. I probably use it for paper at some point. When you're using fibers, something with fibers, you don't really know what the full fiber content is. I have some that are like synthetic on the outside, but the inside is, and there we go, we burnt it. The inside is a cotton or something, and it catches fire more easily. So just reminding you, this is fully extended. That's why we're making this so small. Anyway, just pay attention to that as you do it. Now, I guess it's a good opportunity for me to show you how to clean the inside of the bead. You can see that the wood has like all these splinters on the inside that's going to make it harder to string. So we're just taking this and we're sort of cracking them out, and it's going to make it string much cleaner. So there we prepped the wood bead. And these will just glide right through now, as you can see. And we're going to try to make it roughly even. Don't worry too much about perfectionism. If you want perfectionist crafting, this is not the right channel for that. So we just do things roughly and make them cute, and don't worry too much about perfection. So here we go. Keep that there. Trim this. You should know that for years I did not know how to use a lighter. My husband would laugh at me. He's like, how do you not know how to, you just use it, you do it. I don't know, I think it was just like the inner fear of fire that like it's so close to my thumb. Eventually, crafting required it, and I learned. And here we are. Ouch, I burnt myself. Okay, so careful. Don't do that right away. It's fine. It's not going to be a serious burn. But here we have our adjustable closure, and look how nicely that works. So because it's 2 strands, it's not as smooth, but you just sort of pull the sides until it's the right size. And this is a perfect size for my daughter, or larger. I can even wear it. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make these seashell bracelets. They are so much fun. And again, I'm sure you could buy pre-drilled shells, but it's pretty simple. Go ahead and watch my YouTube video on that. In the description of this video, there is a link to a written tutorial with the supplies that I used, as well as links directly to the supplies. So subscribe if you like fun and doable crafts like this without the perfectionist element, you know, just doable and fun and not like, let's get this perfect. Just let's make this. So subscribe if you like those kinds of crafts. Don't subscribe if you're a perfectionist, or if you like your perfectionism, I should say. If you're a perfectionist trying to break away from it, this is a great channel for you, because that's me. And comment if you have any questions.